Then he hits this pose, and that boy got that. Wait a minute. Is this
Ninja.
even a...
I did not want to see that. I do not want to see this grown man greasy nigga booty on my freaking screen. Crash Out of Transylvania. Now, I've never even seen this movie. I've never even seen Transylvania, which is kind of crazy. But I did see this going crazy. Did want to tap in. Did want to check it out. I know this is a review of the entire movie, like a summary. So we're going to see what I missed out on as a child. Because apparently the audience there is crazy. 500K in 8 days. Like, come on, man. I do want to make a... If you were in the Discord, you definitely seen when I did that at everybody. And I said, what is the most justified anime crash out? Animated crash out, not anime, sorry. And I want to make a potential video similar to this, where it's a compilation of all the characters. I got Tai Lung on there. I got Tarzan. I got the one dude from Brother Bear, forgetting his name. I got a lot of people on there that deserve to crash out, animated wise. And I want to keep going with that. Baymax on there as well. And this might give me some ideas. So we're going to see what's up with this. Let's get into it. Made by my boy, your boy Eustace, by the way. Shout out to him. Make sure y'all show him some love. Up and coming creator. Let's get into it.
The legend is wrong. The wife that died.
That boy moving different. Hey, just wanted to say thank you for all the love and support in the last vid. And I am currently moving my work schedule around to hopefully get one of these videos out once a week. And I'm trying to test out a new YouTube feature right now. So if you see a hype button somewhere on your screen, I would appreciate it.
Bro, I wish I had that hype feature so bad. I wish I had that hype feature so bad, bruh. I wish I had the hype feature so bad, man. Like, I'm past 500K, so I don't deserve it. Not that I don't deserve it, but it's like they don't give it to you if you're over 500K. But it's like, I wish I had that, bro. I don't think trending is not a tab anymore, is it not? Like, I wanted to hit trending at least once, but I don't think trending's a tab no more. Yeah, trending's not a tab anymore. It's like I'm screwed, bro. I'm screwed. Like, I can't even get that no more. That's a goal that I just can't hit no more. I wanted to hit trending at least once. I cannot hit trending anymore. The hype's gone. Like, hype's the only thing, and I'm past the threshold, bro. Tough. I wanted to hit trending at least once. Yes, niggas didn't have the motion, I suppose. It's tough. Truly tough. Oh, it's muted. Hold on.
So we start off in 1895. We see a bat flying to this balcony and transform into a vampire. The door opens and you see the shadowy figure start walking towards the crib, but he only says peekaboo, scaring the baby inside. He then says he didn't mean to scare her, but what was the point of this insane entrance? Also, why do all the babies in these type of movies have a full set of hair every single time? They always are just born with a full set of hair. Anywho, this baby is Dracula's daughter, Mavis. We get a couple clips of her growing up and showing that she wants to go outside, but Dracula tells her it's too dangerous out there. We also get this really cool song from Dracula singing to Mavis about how he'll protect her from the humans. And we get a glimpse of how much this man is an absolute crash out.
And if a human tries to harm you, I'll simply say...
But while he's teaching Mavis how to fly, someone interrupts and he says,
hey, if you're doing that about your daughter, I'm not gonna lie, that is justified. That is a justified crash out. If you're doing that about your daughter, though, like, are niggas really gonna call you weird for that? I wouldn't. It's your dog. That's your daughter, bro. I say go crazy.
It's ready. They go to the balcony, and we then see that a castle made for only monsters has been built. The only thing stopping humans from getting away is like basically a forest to scare them away, which is honestly such a bad defense mechanism, but you know, it's whatever. The guy says the only way to like really keep humans away though is to make sure there's no bonfires or fireworks, you know, to get people's attention and all that. Basically, he built this place as a promise to his wife to keep Mavis safe, and the only way he sees that being possible is if he keeps her in this castle for the rest of his life. You know, it's whatever. Then we cut to the present day and we see this car speeding through the forest and all these monsters with it, really hyped to go to their vacation. The car finally arrives at the hotel and we meet Werewolf Man and all of his kids and his wife.
So that's why it's called Hotel Transylvania. This is like a vacation spot for these niggas. It's like a vacation spot for these niggas.
These
I
zombies
bet.
are
I
basically
bet.
like the dumb little henchmen of Dracula. Like they just do all the random stuff around the hotel. Then we see Dracula handing out the itinerary for his daughter's birthday. Dracula says the hotel has been human free since 1898. Since it's going to be Mavis's 118th birthday, she's lived here for like 115 years. I don't know how that's relevant at all, but I don't know. They gave me numbers. I did the math. Leave me the fuck alone. Anywho, the werewolf kids finally make it in the building. They just start wrecking the place. They're peeing everywhere and messing everything up. We then figure out that the werewolf and Dracula have been really good friends for years. And then Dracula gets the maids to clean up their mess. And these witches come out.
Oh, Lee said pick up. Bro, I got my phone over here, twin. I didn't even see your call. Hold on. Streamer call real quick. Ain't no way. Is that Lord Farquaad? Yo, chat, you want to see this? Yo, shout out Lee. She's streaming right now. You said what?
The one and only.
The one and only. One and only Lee streaming right now. What y'all thinking? W costume? What we thinking, chat? Hold on. I got to make sure this visible, bro. How long this one take you?
Honestly, tomorrow's gonna take me an hour, but this one took me 30 minutes.
30? Ain't no way. Everybody's saying W, though. Everybody's saying W, though. You love to see it, bro. What's your next costume? You can't spoil it? No leaks?
I can't spoil it.
No leaks? Alright, bro. Whenever you're live, I'll be tapped in, bro. I'll be tapped in. I better get that call. You get the live reaction and all that, bro.
I am live.
You are? Okay, I'm gonna say what's up to the stream. Tell the stream I said hi if they can hear me.
Oh no, they can hear you.
Oh, okay, bet.
Yeah, they can hear you.
I say that. You better catch me for the next one. I'm gonna catch you for the next
I
one.
got you.
I bet. I'm gonna see you. W costume. You love to see that, bro. Who is she? That's Lee. She a streamer, bro. Met her at DreamCon literally this year. Last year. Shout out Lee, bro. She be grinding. Absolute GOAT, bro. Absolute GOAT. Be showing mad love, too. Love to see.
On
Let's get back to it.
timing, instantly cleaning this mess. They put
Everybody
this, like,
did
spot-
not say W's. I only saw W, hell yeah, W. That's all I said, nigga. That's all I seen. Mr. Morgan's over. Did anybody else not say it?
sponge
I
on
ain't
the
see
pee
it.
and he kind of like wiggles in it.
Why this nigga wiggling?
I don't know what kind of joke or whatever this was supposed to mean, but I'ma just keep it pushing.
Nah,
we
real
didn't
life.
see these mailboxes being carried into the lounge,
Real
but
life.
the zombies trip over and reveal that Frankenstein was in the boxes the whole time. While Dracula is yelling at the zombies for dropping him, the Invisible Man messes with him and pinches him. He then takes off his glasses so he's fully invisible and then smacks Dracula in the face. And then Dracula swings on him, but obviously he misses because he's invisible. Then he takes out these like claws and does like 2 large slashes. And from seeing his powers in the rest of the movie, there is no possible way he can't actually see him. I know for a fact he can see this man. I just can't prove it. But Dracula gives up and hands him a piece of
How does the Invisible Man ever lose? See, niggas with powers like this, how do you ever lose? Ever. How do you ever lose in a fight? You can't be seen. How could you ever lose in a fight for real?
bacon.
Crazy.
The piece of bacon makes all the little kid dogs like just basically jump on him. Then out of nowhere, sand starts flying into the room, creating this little sand dune in the middle of the lobby. Then a giant mummy slides down the hill and he's just like, hey, Dracula, what's up? But Dracula's just like, the sand, Murray, the sand, every year with the sand. Anywho, we then cut to Dracula showing the monsters what humans are like, and he has the most innocent, normal photos of humans ever, but he shapes it as they're just dangerous.
Nah, real life,
you
bro.
know, wolf.
You know what you're doing with this power? What are you doing with invisible powers, bro? Without you said that sentence, I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know, bro.
Type of thing. Basically, they get all their informations about humans through Dracula every year through this little event that they do, which is just so confusing to me because they don't live in this hotel. They come to this hotel annually. So how in the world are they only experiencing humans through this? Where in the world do they live in the 21st
Nah,
century?
real life,
all
though.
these monsters.
How do y'all not interact with humans this whole time?
Through this, where in the world do they live in the 21st century that all these monsters, one of these ninjas is like 50 feet tall? You know what, it's whatever. We then cut to Mavis giving herself a little pep talk
That's
about how
insane.
she's gonna ask her dad to let her go outside for the first time. We see that she doesn't have a reflection while she's talking. I don't know, I thought that was pretty cool. She then walks on a wall and then on the ceiling. I don't know if I didn't watch another Vampire Diaries or something, but since when can these ninjas walk on walls and defy gravity? When has that been a vampire power? While that's happening, Dracula walks
Real
over to
life.
Mavis's room. She has this like voodoo doll head on her door. All the doors in the hotel have them, but like her specifically beefs with Dracula. I don't know, it's kind of funny. You could tell they've been beefing for a long time because of the way he talks to it.
Is she up yet?
Oh, she's up. What you gonna do? What you gonna say?
But Dracula goes into Mavis's room. He's trying to talk to her about her birthday and what
That
they're
is
gonna
pretty
do,
funny,
but
I ain't
she is
gonna lie.
not having it. She says we need to talk about something. Dracula says, I know you want to explore the world. You can go. But she was very shocked by this. Dracula's just like, yeah, for real, you could go. And she was ready. She already had a bag packed.
No
As
way.
she's flying and about to leave, Dracula stops her. But Dracula tells her that everyone went to great lengths to see her for her birthday.
I really want to see new things. Maybe meet somebody my age.
I'd be sick too. Imagine your girl is that quick to dip out the house, bro. Out here hot and ready. She come back with a nigga. I know there's a nigga that's the main character. First time she leave out the house, she come back with a nigga. I'd be sick.
Dracula
sick.
stops her, but Dracula tells her that
Justify crash out yet again. Justify
everyone went
crash
to
out.
great lengths to see her for her birthday.
I really want to see new things. Maybe meet somebody my age.
Bitch, you're 118. The only person your age you're gonna see is one of those shriveled up monk people. She tells him that she wants to go where he met her mom, which is Hawaii, but she doesn't know how to say it, so she says some dumb shit like Hawaha or some bull crap. And he tells her to just go to a village that's 30 minutes away. But before she goes, all her aunts and uncles come into the room, and they're just like, what? You're letting her go outside? And they're panicking, obviously because they think all humans are monsters, because that's what Dracula told them. And Mrs. Frankenstein hits this like random pose after talking. I don't know why. It's just like slightly funny to me.
Maybe they've changed.
But after Mavis leaves, Frankenstein tells Dracula, I'm proud of you for letting her leave. But when he turns around, he's not there. We then cut to him flying out following Mavis. And he gets to the village before her.
No way.
I don't know how fast this man flies, but throughout this whole movie, this man's flight is insane. He is overpowered. This honestly might be the most powerful depiction of Dracula in fiction. I promise. Because this man does some crazy stuff in this movie. Anywho, Mavis
gotta
makes it
see
to the
about
village,
that.
but all she sees is this mannequin in a shop window. She walks up to it, and this random guy pops out of nowhere with a torch. Then the mannequin turns around too, and all these like humans come out of nowhere with pitchforks and knives. And they say they're gonna burn her clothes, take her toes, and steal her candy. Which earlier is something that was said in the book Dracula was reading to her when she was a kid. Then one of the
Oh,
humans
he definitely plotted this. They're definitely fake humans.
falls off, and you see it as actually just the zombies. Dracula quickly runs and puts his head back on before Mavis notices. Then the zombies just start messing up. One sets
Yup.
everyone on fire, and then literally just a fire circle of people. But as Dracula is shaking his head thinking he failed, Mavis says, dang, Dad was right, and she flies back to the hotel. Then after she leaves, Dracula moves through the crowd of zombies as this mist. What power is this? This man is just materializing. Like, what other Dracula? Like, bro, they weren't doing this in Castlevania. Buddy wasn't moving like this. I mean, yeah, Alucard had telekinesis, but like, what in the world is this?
Yeah,
Anywho,
real
the
life.
zombies start packing
Real
up,
life.
and one of them's trying to steal this mannequin. That boy is finna get freaky.
What the hell was this nigga about to do with a mannequin, bro? What was this nigga about to do with a bro? See, freak niggas like this deserve, I don't know what y'all deserve, bro. Y'all deserve electric chairs, man. What was this nigga about to do with a mannequin?
Then Dracula flies
Hell
out the hotel,
nah,
but
man.
we see a mysterious figure walking towards
Hell
the fire.
nah,
Dracula
nigga.
goes to check up on Mavis, and he goes, hey, how was the big world? How was it? And she was just like, it was terrible. You were right, Dad. Everything is so bad. And he gives her a hug, and she says that she's sorry she ever doubted him, and she'll never leave her again. And look at the grin on this man's face. This man just lied to his daughter and is
Real
happy
life.
about it. I'm telling you, this man was moving different in episode 1. All y'all know now is, hey, dude man, where's the dude man? But in episode 1, this man was a real monster. We also find out that her mom left a present.
A lot of Draculas can turn into mist. Castlevania Dracula could even do it? Really? He probably didn't know then. But I never seen a Dracula do that either, to be fair. I've never seen a Dracula do that.
for
But I don't see horror. I don't watch horror stuff like that, so I wouldn't even know, to be fair again. So
when she specifically turned 118. Now, they're making 118 like her 18th birthday. This irritates the fuck out of me, but I do kind of get it because they had to make it a whole nother century. So it's like humans are actually different. Because if it was just 18 years from 1890, whatever, then it wouldn't really work. But I get it. I get it. My headcanon for this is that vampires just age at a ratio of 1.5 years for every 1 human year. Y'all didn't know I really had that big thinker on me. Yeah, shut your lame ass up. Anywho, Dracula gets back to the lobby and one of the zombies from earlier comes up to him.
Yes, what do you want? A cookie? You did all right, man. Move on already.
We then see the mysterious figure from earlier walking through the turnstile door, and Dracula sees him and realizes it's a human. So he dashes over to him and talks to him while in the turnstile. And he dashed into it so fast, it's spinning around them. They're having their own private conversation.
How did he even get here?
This guy is like a hippie hitchhiker, and he just accidentally stumbled upon the place because of the fire. Dracula tries to get him to leave, but when he walks out, there's a whole bunch of monsters trying to actively come into the hotel. So Drac sneaks him off to like a janitor closet. He then searches his backpack for weapons. All he finds is like his shirt, and it's super stinky, and it almost kills him. Then he finds his phone and starts freaking out. But Johnny says he only uses it for music, and he gives him headphones. And then he starts tweaking out. Johnny, thinking this is just some secret costume party, is just messing with Dracula and going blah blah blah. Dracula decides not to kill him because it would set monsters back hundreds of years. Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's a good reason for that excuse. I'm gonna keep it 1,000. You know what? Good stuff, movie. I'll give you that. Drac then decides to dress him up as a monster so he can sneak him out the hotel. But this chef Quasimodo stops him as he's walking out, and this little rat that he keeps with him can smell humans somehow. And he's just like, I smell a human. And then Quasimodo's just like, stop being stupid. This is Count Dracula. But Drac grabs the rat and yeets it somewhere. While this is happening, Johnny sneaks off and he sees a skeleton. He puts his hands through their rib cage and finds out it's a female skeleton, and she slaps the mess out of him, making her boyfriend mad. And Johnny steps back and he hits Bigfoot. Then this leads to just a chain reaction of him running in the Miranda monsters until he gets on a witch's broom, flies around, and then runs into Mavis. As they get up, they make eye contact with each other and they zing. But Drac instantly gets between them, and then Mavis confirms that this is the real Dracula. Johnny gets scared, but Drac grabs him and brings him into this room. And since Johnny knows now that this is the real Dracula, he starts tweaking out in this room and he's terrified. He asks if he's gonna suck his blood, pause, and Dracula says that he doesn't do that anymore and he uses blood substitutes. And then he does the blah 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 thing. Johnny then asks, what even is this place then? Drac then explains that this is like a sanctuary for monsters so they don't have to fear humans and they can live in peace. He then grabs Johnny and starts flying out of the window. But Mavis sees them mid-flight and he flies Johnny back in. Then when Mavis flies,
rizzed her up. Nah, real life with just his eyes too. Just eyes rizzed her up. That's how you. That's good riz right there. I ain't gonna lie. That's good. That's good riz, my nigga. Great riz. Phenomenal riz. Castlevania Dracula does it in the games. I don't remember if he did it in the show. Probably didn't do it in the show if he didn't know. But in the games, I would not be surprised. Like if he's teleporting around the screen and you can't hit him all the time, he's definitely doing that in the games for real. Let's see what's up.
Johnny asked a very interesting question.
You didn't have any clothes on when you were a bat? Or were they bat-sized?
Now, while this is a little odd to ask, I think...
Yo, you think they got a clothes beam like Piccolo chat? Like, the clothes just materialize whenever they transform or something? Like, Dragon Ball characters, their clothes just transform with them. Like, Super Saiyan 4, this nigga gets a whole new fit. A whole new fit. You gotta play Symphony of the Night, won't disappoint. I literally have that on my Android. I can show you right now. Where's my Android at? I could show you right now. I have Symphony of the Night literally on my phone. I've bought that game in like 2019. I've never played it. Never played it yet, but I have it. Right here. I can load it up right now. Just to show you. We put okay. Dead have it right here. I've had this for mad long. I played like 3 hours of it back in like 2019. And then my phone broke. And then when I got my new phone was my new Android back in like 2020. I had an Android all of 2020. It was so bad I couldn't play any games on it. And then I got an iPhone in 2021. And then when I got my iPhone, my old Android was like usable. I deleted like everything on there except for like certain apps. It's like I probably could have played it on there, but I never had a good Android 2, and I got this Android like a few months ago, like a month before DreamCon. I just haven't played it yet. So I literally had it. I just got hoed from playing it for a long time. Gotta play it at some point though.
Come up later in the movie, but Mavis asks who Johnny is, and Drax makes up the excuse that he's the party planner for her new birthday since he's close to her age. When they find out Mavis's age, she's 118. I said that to y'all earlier, but I guess if you didn't do the math, then you wouldn't know that. Anywho, Johnny says he's 121. I don't know if that means he's actually 21 in human years or if he just said that, but I don't know. Then Mavis asks Johnny if they can hang out when he's not planning for the party. Drax says, of course y'all can hang out, but once he closes the doors, he turns around and he says, yeah, y'all are not hanging out. He then opens the secret passages in the wall that leads them to these like tunnels under the castle, and they go through all these tunnels, but Dracula keeps failing to find the exit, and they stumble upon these bed bugs, bug in the bed if you know what I mean, and then they also walk in on the female skeleton from earlier. Then he pulls a lever and he sees Drax's friends beating up the zombie Mozart and zombie Beethoven band because they want to play for the birthday party instead of them. They ask Drax to sing with them and he says no, but then they insist and then he starts tweaking out.
No! Don't ask me again!
I'm telling you, this man was crashing out every 5 seconds.
Yo, why this nigga tweaking all the time? What the hell?
I'm telling you, this man was crashing out every 5 seconds.
Oh my goodness,
Mavis catches Johnny in the wall, and this man is lost in the sauce. Look at him. But Johnny sees a spider and he falls into the room. But Frankenstein sees him. Dracula gets in between him and Frankenstein, and Johnny asks if they're gonna kill me, and he says, not as long as they think you're a monster. And Johnny said that was kind of racist. They make up the excuse that Johnny is Frankenstein's cousin on his right-hand side, and they ask him why he's here, and he says he's here to plan the party, and everyone looks at Dracula, and they're just like, dang, you really let somebody plan the party? So they ask Johnny if he thinks it would be better for the classical zombies to play versus them play their music. So Johnny gets them to play, and they play this like old school love song. And in this song, they mention Doritos, and I just don't understand how they would know what those are if these guys live in isolation. But once again, I'm gonna keep it pushing.
Literally.
But Johnny's saying they're going
and they were in like 1895 or something like that, right? Nigga, Doritos did not exist for that long. Somebody lying. Can you do a video on CW Arrow? That effort was so tough. Season 1. I have to watch all the CW shows. I've seen none of them. I gotta go tap
guitar, and he starts jamming, looking directly at Mavis too. Ooh, that boy got her blushing. A crowd forms and he's going crazy. Then he goes for a stage job, but they don't know what it is, so they just let him fall. But nonetheless, after that little jam session, everyone is in love with Johnny and think he's the coolest guy ever. But Dracula says they're not doing any of that for the party, but everyone just ignores him. We then cut to everybody playing bingo, and it's just
Dracula is so animated. I love how animated he is. That nigga is so animated,
everyone
bro.
Everyone is in love with Johnny and think he's the coolest guy ever. But Dracula says they're not doing any of that for the party, but everyone just ignores him. We then cut to everybody playing bingo, and it's just a very boring scene. And the only one really having fun is like Dracula. But Mrs. Frankenstein gets bingo, and then we get the classic line, I didn't do that. Then they're in this like gymnasium, and half the people are on the benches, and the rest are like playing charades. And they have two of the worst people to play charades with. We got this fly that's like spinning on his hands, and then we have the Invisible Man. But after getting bored, Johnny remembers that he had a scooter in his backpack, so he gets to busting tricks in the middle of the gym, and everybody takes their turn with the scooter until the lady from earlier grabs the scooter and eats it. I didn't do that. No. Then we have the pool scene. We got the little fly guy again, and he's doing like a water yoga class. I don't know, something about this guy is
lame
so
mad party,
like,
bro.
I don't know, it's just like
lame mad party.
It's also like the tone of his, I don't know, he's just so funny. He's a cute little guy. And at the dinner tables, everybody's just trying to talk to Johnny because he's experienced other things outside the hotel, and he talks to them about the Taj Mahal, which they know of the Taj Mahal but not going to it, which I don't know is interesting. I guess the Taj Mahal has been around for centuries, so I'll give him that one. But anywho, Dracula gets in between him and Mavis and gives her a cream cheese bagel, and I'm gonna keep it a buck. This cream cheese looks kind of good. I'm taking a bite out of that. I'm gonna keep it a bean. Dracula basically just tells him he needs to figure out an excuse to leave, so he should go in the pool and pretend that his back is hurting and then sneak out. But someone takes it as, you need me to get on your back, and this starts a giant chicken fight in the pool. And Frankenstein somehow gets on this giant tentacle and uses it as like a diving board and jumps off. The werewolf pantses the Invisible Man, and then he says that, don't judge me, you know, the pool was kind of cold. You know, obviously it's like it's a dick joke, but like you can't see him because he's invisible. I don't know. I don't know.
Literally,
Dracula
bro.
then sees that Johnny's makeup is rubbing off because the water, so he goes to grab him, but then he accidentally gets pulled into the pool, and underneath the water, he starts tweaking out. He decides to pull the drain plug.
Yo, this nigga crashed out everywhere, huh?
The water.
So this nigga just crashes out no matter where he's at.
weekend out.
This thing
He
is
decides to
crazy.
pull the drain plug on the pool, and so the water starts going down. But Johnny just got on the giant diving board and jumps off of it, and is currently falling towards the pool with no water. Dracula then suspends him in the air, which, yo, when did this become a vampire power? Like, yeah, I've seen it. You know, you got Alucard doing it all the time. But, like, what history books, what, like, folk tales, did they start getting telekinesis? Like,
I think he's just cracked. He got every power in existence. This might be one of the most cracked Draculas ever. This nigga got everything. For what we seeing, this nigga got everything, bro.
He then carries him off to a cemetery off the hotel grounds and tells him to sneak off. Then he tries to mind control him, but it doesn't work because Johnny has contacts in, and that somehow stops the mind control. But after realizing the mind control won't work,
yo, this man is rage baiting. This is like him rage baiting Dracula the entire movie. Out here rage baiting Dracula the whole movie, my nigga. I swear if it have an aneurysm by the end of this, I swear to God, bro.
Out and threatens to kill him if he tells anybody about this place or doesn't leave. But while he's walking away, Mavis sneaks up on him and tells Johnny to follow her. Johnny says no, but then Mavis says, "You sure it'll be fun?" And this man folds like a fucking lawn chair with zero pressure.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep it 1,000.
I would too.
I can't blame him though. She takes him up to the roof and she asks him if he knows about Hawaii. And he says, "Yeah, I've been to a musical festival there." And she says, "That's amazing, you've been everywhere." He basically says, "Of course, what am I gonna do, stay home all day?" And Mavis is really upset about that, obviously, because that's her life. Then the sun starts coming up and she starts to get burned. Johnny says he has an idea and he kind of keeps her in the shade, but at an angle where she can still see the sunrise. And she is absolutely amazed by this and wooed, you know, because obviously the sunrise is pretty beautiful. But am I supposed to believe she's never seen one of these? Like, I get it, you know, they go to sleep during the day and all that, but there's no way in your 118 years of life you could do this trick at all. Like, that just doesn't make any sense. But
bro, I feel like with how Dracula's moving, he probably made sure every window was like locked down. She probably real life couldn't. She probably real life couldn't do this. She real life probably couldn't do this.
I'm gonna let that one slide too. I've been really generous recently, and I hope one of these movies doesn't piss me off. We then cut to the guys in the sauna having fun. They start talking about Johnny, and Frankenstein says that it's nice to see Mavis happy and hanging out with someone. But Dracula says they can never be a thing because Mavis can never hang out with someone of his kind. Obviously, Frankenstein, thinking that Johnny is another Frankenstein, gets very upset by this. And then Dracula says that he means someone with red curly hair, and the Invisible Man gets mad. Basically, everyone in the sauna gets mad. Then we cut to Mavis and Johnny, and he's backing her up off the roof because the sun is getting close. Johnny then falls down the roof, and as Dracula is explaining that Johnny left, he falls right in Dracula's arms. We then cut to Dracula open up the door to the dining hall, and he realizes he still only has his towel on, so then he spins around and his clothes just appear out of thin air. He then tells Johnny he can sit in this room all day and rearrange the tables. Johnny starts moving the tables around, but then Dracula gets irritated by the sound and forces him into a corner to take a time out. Dracula then starts calling out the numbers of the table and telling them to rearrange, and they start flying. But while he's doing that, Johnny figures out the numbers of the tables and he sneaks onto one and tells it to fly. Dracula sees this and then knocks him off. He then goes back into the sky and starts flying around, zipping past Drac, and then Drac sees this as a challenge. So he also gets on one and he starts chasing Johnny around. And after almost getting caught, Johnny hits a half pipe off the ceiling. Then we see this long-nosed
ninja got aura
sniffing the ground outside, looking for the human. We cut back to Johnny and Drac. And Drac
table half pipe is 101, bro.
In the middle of the dining hall. But Johnny jumps through one of the gaps of the table. Drac then follows behind him, but he loses his table underneath him, and Johnny catches them out the air. So now they're speeding through the hallways of the hotel and they're messing with each other while on the table, but they crash into one of the guards, and when Dracula recovers, he realizes that Johnny is gone. He instantly realizes that Quasimodo must have stolen him, and he goes to find him. And that boy is Naruto running through the halls. Look at him. He is on time.
Naruto running is crazy. This might be one of the most animated anime characters. Animated characters. That's even a sentence I could say. That is
Naruto
so crazy, bro.
Halls. Look at him. He is on timing. But while running, he runs into Mavis, and she asks where Johnny is. And Drac says, "Why do you ask? Do you like him?" And she's just like, "Nah, he's so weird and awkward, and he doesn't know he's adorable." And then he realizes, my boy Johnny is in there. That boy already knows he's scared, too. He's just like, "No, my Mavis." And after realizing this, Dracula goes to the nearest guard, and he tells him, he's just like, "Do you have a location on Quasimodo?" And we see that all these, like, night guards are kind of like a hive mind and can see what the other one sees, which is cool as fuck. I'm not gonna lie, this shit is lit. Anywho, the guards go to stop Quasimodo, and this man locks in. weave, 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 weave. They then block him at the door. Instead of the guard saying like, yo, Dracula told us to capture you, they just try to grab him, hits the step back like Danny Granger, and then kicks Bro in the ball. The knight realizes he's a knight, and he's just like, why in the world did that hurt me? We then see these eyes glow in the dark, and it's all these gremlin dudes coming to attack Quasimodo, and that boy gets
How is he moving like this?
He jumps on one,
this is a
gets onto the woodwork
gremlin.
of the ceiling. He weaves this one, weaves another
Wow.
one, swings off this bar. Then we zoom in. The rat on his head is also getting busy. This boy's fighting spiders on top of the hat and makes light work of it. He hits the ground, he looks to his right, and he sees that the guards are there. Then he looks to his left, and he sees the little gremlin things, and he gets an idea. He runs and he jumps on one of the guards' helmets, kicking it off. This then hits one of the gremlins in the face, and then he just keeps doing it. Bing, 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 until he makes it through the doorway. Then he hits this pose, and that boy got that. Wait a minute, is this ninja even a?
I did not want to see that. I do not want to see this grown man greasy nigga booty on my freaking screen,
Monster? Bro, Quasimodo is just a hunchback. This ninja isn't even a fucking monster.
Oh,
He's damn
God,
near human.
bro.
Wait a minute, bro. So is the invisible
Oh,
man.
God,
bro, he's just a human. He's just invisible. This ninja had humans in the hotel. I don't even have the energy to like really dive into that. But you know what? I'ma let it slide. I'ma have to let it slide. Shout out
life, bro.
We then cut to Mavis and Drac, and they're talking about love. And Mavis rubs the chin of the statue, and you can see the statue's eyes move to look at her. Then someone comes in and tells Drac that Quasimodo made it to the kitchen, and you can still see the statue reacting to Drac. But Drac rushes to the kitchen. We then cut to Quasimodo slowly roasting Johnny over a fire. Dracula turns off the fire and then grabs him, and he goes to leave, but Quasimodo stops him, and he says, "Wow, Dracula, now you're helping the human." Dracula says he's not a human, he's a Frankenstein. And Quasimodo says if he is, then he could prove it by scaring Esmeralda, the rat. He goes over to scare her, and she is absolutely unfazed. Just does not give a fuck about anything he got going on. And then she makes a little rat noise, and this scares the absolute shit out of Johnny. And Quasimodo starts tweaking out, screaming human. He goes to attack Dracula, but he just freezes him. Then this like gremlin goes to Quasimodo's body and then sticks his finger in his nose. I'm pretty sure he did this because this gremlin specifically has been beat by Quasimodo like twice. Like, I mean, an absolutely like belt to ass beat. Like, this nigga was whipping his shit. Anywho, Dracula takes Johnny to this abandoned room, and Johnny sees a picture of a woman, and he says there's a whole legend around her, and that he visited the castle that her and her husband died in.
The legend is wrong.
Oh, that's where that TikTok is from. That's where I seen this TikTok. That's where the TikTok is from.
The wife that died.
That boy moving different. Bro, that's aura right there. Bro, if Mavis died, this man would have tweaked out. F the hotel, F everything, bro. He would have pulled a full Castlevania Dracula and murked everyone. And this one is not failing, I promise, because this guy is actually OP. And since he had Mavis instead of an Alucard, he wouldn't even have been stopped. This man would have just wiped out all of humanity. Licky split, you heard? That boy would have got the victory royale, would have been the last one alive. Anywho, he explains to Johnny that the legend is wrong because the only one that died was the wife, and that the husband and their kid made it out because he is her husband. He also tells him that there's no mystery to who killed her because the humans did it. While he was trying to talk them down to get them to not do anything, they killed his wife, but he was able to escape with Mavis. Dracula once again explains that he built this place for his wife to protect their child, and he also says he'll do anything to protect Mavis even if he has to lie to her. But he then tells Johnny that Mavis has feelings for him. Drac says he likes Johnny, but he wishes more humans were like him. Johnny says it's the 21st century and some might be, but Drac asks if he could promise that everyone will be okay with it, and Johnny says no, which I'm not gonna lie, that definitely is true. But I mean, if you need like everybody except you, like, I mean, like, come on, bro, like, you look, you bugging a little bit, like, come on. But Johnny is discouraged by his revelation, and he says, I'll just leave, just say that I snuck out or I left or I didn't want to be here anymore. And Drac tells him, no, wait until after the birthday party. And Johnny says he just really doesn't want to hurt Mavis. Dracula tells him he's not the smoothest Frankenstein, but he would make a good vampire. Johnny says he thinks so too, and then he has us hypnotize him down. So Johnny goes for it, and he tells Dracula that he is now a vampire, and he plays along with it. You can really see they had a real bond here, and I don't know, it's just really cool. Then we cut to the werewolf, which I guess makes sense since they were like acting like the werewolf. But anywho, he hasn't gotten any sleep, and right when he's about to close his eyes, the phone rings. It is time to get ready for Mavis's party. Mavis looks at her closet, and she grabs all of her same exact shirts. Then we see her start sewing them together.
So real though. That is so real though. Like y'all ever have them nights like nothing goes your way and you just can't sleep. It's like nothing goes your way. No matter what like nothing goes your way. You just cannot sleep. Hate nights like that, bro. There was a night I had like that where it was like real life, bro. I couldn't sleep, so I stayed up for like a whole 24 hours. And the next day when I was trying to sleep, I kept getting extended time to where I just couldn't sleep. I don't know what it was. It was like every single time I was about to sleep, something happened where I couldn't sleep. Like I had to go out help my aunt with something, and then I came back to do something. It was insane. Like I wanted to go to sleep at 6 o'clock. I didn't go to sleep till like 12.
He was powdering his
insane.
buns. That boy is caked up. We then see Dracula sneak into Mavis's room and put a present on her bed from her mom. We cut to the party and we see the guys playing as a band. And with all of Johnny's ideas, this joint is getting crunk. We see the wolf kids on this table, and the youngest out of all of them, this girl with the binky, is an absolute menace. She whoops everybody on this table. Then we see Johnny on the dance floor. You know he's gonna crunk, but then Mavis pulls up on him. He calls her beautiful and she says thanks, I really like the party. And then he says, do you like my little touches? He has these like what I assume are fireflies of every color of the rainbow, and they're making different locations around the world, including Hawaii. So then Mavis does a little trust fall thing, but then turns into a bat last second. And look, the makeshift like cape dress she made does not turn into a bat with her.
My theory here is, right, that the clothes they wear are actually like a part of their like spirit or whatever the hell their weird ass magic works. Because that goes away when they turn into vampires. But other things don't. So I think that's how it works.
I think. Anywho, they start dancing, but in the middle of dancing, Mavis looks at Johnny like this. Yo, she knows what she's doing. You look at anybody like this, you know it's about to be raps.
Real life.
But we cut to Dracula, and this boy takes off the cape and gets to breaking it down, bro. Look at him. Oh, that boy getting crazy.
That nigga
that boy got the
moving.
1700s funk in him. But Mavis and Johnny kiss, and one of the guards snitches, pointing it out to Dracula. And this boy moves through the crowd and pulls up immediately. And Dracula is pissed. And Mavis says she wants to try to go outside again. And Dracula says, no, it won't be worth it. And then Mavis says, I'll just go to the village again, you know, I'll try again. And Dracula finally snaps and says that won't be possible because the village doesn't exist. And then the music stops and everyone is looking at Dracula like, damn. And then you hear Frankenstein in the back say, what did you do? I don't know why. This just reminds me of a meme, but I just can't put my finger on it. It's like the way he says it.
What did you do?
But Mavis pressures him into confessing, and he tells her the truth that he built the town is not real. And he says if something happened to her, then he couldn't live with himself, so he didn't let her go out. And then she says, but you could live with lying to me. But right before he can answer, frozen Quasimodo is willed over by the rat into the middle of the party. He's trying to talk, but he's frozen so no one can understand him. But then the fly flies over and he's just like, I speak frozen. And he translates that there's a human in the party. And then he points over to Johnny. But then Quasimodo's rat messes up Johnny's makeup and his hair, and everyone realizes he's a human and they start tweaking out. But Mavis sees him and asks him if it's true, and Johnny says
why is everybody in the back why is everyone in the back tweaking but not tweaking on the human nigga that got him tweaking? You see how they look how they all moving in the back. They tweaking on everybody but the nigga that's making them tweak.
It's true.
That's
and Johnny
crazy,
says he's
bro.
sorry for lying, and she says she doesn't care. She still wants to be with you. But Johnny looks out to the crowd and he sees Dracula sad, and he decides to play the villain and says he doesn't want to be with her because she's a monster and storms off. And he does this dumbass karate move and like scares everybody. But then Mavis gets mad at Drac and she storms off, and everyone leaves the party. Later on, Dracula goes to check on Mavis but doesn't see her in the room. He thinks that she ran away, but he flies out and realizes that she's just on the roof. So he walks over to her and she asks for a favor. He says anything, and she asks if he could erase her memory, and he says he could never do anything like that to her. She starts crying and we see the present from her mom. It's this little 4-page book about how her and her dad met. And on the last page it says, your zing will come, my love, and cherish it. Mavis then says she thought her and Johnny zinged, and Dracula's just like, damn, y'all zinged. Mavis then says, you don't have to worry about me leaving. I have no more dreams, and I don't want to leave the castle anymore. Then she flies to her room. This postcard of Hawaii flies in the wind, and right before it flies too far, Dracula catches it, and he asks himself, what has he done? We then cut to everyone trying to leave the hotel because they're human, but then Dracula comes to them and tells them that he needs help trying to find Johnny. But they're all upset because he let Johnny in there. Drac then explains that Johnny wasn't a bad guy, and he also doesn't know if humans were bad, and he was lying to them the whole time. But then Dracula tells everyone that they zinged, and everybody just eats that up. Frankenstein starts short-circuiting, which I guess is his version of crying. And then everybody's just like, okay, you know what? Let's get Johnny. What are we doing? So they skedaddle on up out of there. They hop in the V and they are ready to go. The mummy asks Dracula what he's gonna do about the son, and he says he's just gonna have to roll with it. They find a shirt from Johnny's backpack, and he tries to get the werewolf to sniff it, but he tells Dracula
this
that
really reminds me how great this movie was.
Yeah.
I never seen this movie, so I'm really invested. So I'm not like reacting, like I'm yapping as I usually do. Like I'm actually, like, I never seen the movie before, so I need to actually know the plot for real.
Kids and, you know, diapers, and I don't know. I guess that messed up his nose. Then he calls over his kids. He whistles, but it's like silent, you know, because they're like dogs. Like, but anywho, all his kids come out of nowhere and they pull up squad deep, and none of them listen
Where's
to
his
him.
wife?
So he calls
Where's his girl at?
out the only one that still respects him, and it's the little girl from earlier that was on the table. And when she starts walking, they all freeze in their place. And I don't know what kind of nose she has, but she tells him everything possible. Tells him what type of car he hopped in, tells him that the car needs transmission fluid, tells him what airport, where he's headed to, and what seat he's in the airplane. She's
God
golden.
damn.
So they hop back in the car and they get the book in it. They then see a sheep in the middle of the road and they yell out sheep. I kind of feel like this was a Jeep joke somehow, but I don't know. So y'all let me know if it was. But they make a hard left to avoid the sheep and end up on this like mountain road. They see a human dressed up as Dracula and a werewolf, and then they're very tripped out about it. And they see that the humans are throwing a monster festival, and this makes them realize that the humans actually like them. Dracula sees a human dressed up as him, and he asks him, how do I get through this crowd? And he says he should have left an hour earlier. And he does the blah 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 thing, and Dracula's just like, I don't go blah blah blah. So they decide to go on foot. So to get to the crowd, they decide that they need to scare the humans. Frankenstein says he can't scare people anymore because he hasn't done it in years. But the invisible man gets bro active, lights a match, puts it in front of his face, and bro gets the tweaking out. Climbs to the top of this balloon of himself and gets the roaring on that joint.
Man, why would he tweak out over a match? Is that like a weakness that he got? Why is he tweaking over a match? Am I tripping? What about that? What would make him trip about that?
But once he's done, they start clapping, and he gets mad because they're not scared. But the humans say that they love them. So Frankenstein decides to take this moment and tell the humans that the real Dracula is down there, and that his daughter's in love, and that he needs to go to the airport. Someone asked him to prove that
And the Frankenstein story hates fire? Oh, okay, I was about to say.
And he makes him crack this mug up against his head. But one of the Draculas has an idea on how to help him. So he gets all the Draculas to line up in a row, and someone else to lift their cape up to protect him from the shade. And Dracula sees this, and bro gets the book in it. Naruto running all the way through. Everything is in slow motion to him, and he hears everyone supporting him, saying that they love him and chanting him on. He then makes it to the airport, and he sees Johnny. He says there's no choice, and he decides to run out into the sun. He goes in the bat form, and he gets to chase in this plane. And that boy is smoking, but somehow, some way, this man catches up to this plane. I'm telling you, this has to be the most OP Dracula, because he just caught up to this plane after it already left.
Is Dracula that fast? Would any other Dracula be able to do that? Like, to catch up to a plane? I feel like other Draculas would be as fast. Low key. Like, I feel like that's a speed feat that other Draculas would have. Y'all let me know, though.
But he rests on this landing gear while it's in the shade for a couple seconds and gets straight back to it. He makes it to Johnny's window. He tries to bang on it, but Johnny has headphones in and does not see him. Also on the screen in front of Johnny is like Vampire Diaries or something. I don't know, whichever one goes, you imprinted on my daughter. But then Johnny notices him, but through the glass, they can't talk. This pisses Dracula off, so he flies to the cockpit. Then he hypnotizes the pilot and talks to Johnny through the pilot. He tells him that he's sorry and he made a terrible mistake and that he wants Johnny to come back. Back at the window, Johnny gives him a thumbs up and he turns the plane around. Obviously, everybody else on the plane is absolutely pissed because that's some BS, but you know, hey. And before we get to the next scene,
BS, bro.
I'm not letting this slide. This ninja Dracula is actually OP. This man has been outside in the sun as a bat for, I don't even know. This man doesn't have any freaking debuffs. He's just straight GOAT. Like literally, what are some of these powers? This man has telekinesis, can defy gravity, has mind control, can suspend things in the air and freeze things, like super sight, super speed. Bro, he caught up to this plane. Who is this ninja? You know what? I just realized. I know who he is. He's a dude man.
Hey, dude man. I'm a dude man.
Yes, I made this whole video just to make that joke. At me. Then we cut to him flying in the Mavis' room, and he's all burnt up. Which, I'm not...
He got it. I ain't gonna lie. Being that broken, you that broken, I ain't gonna lie, he got it.
It doesn't make any sense because if he had to turn the plane around and he probably got back to the village with the guys with Johnny, then he really didn't need to do any of that unless he was just aura farming, which to be honest, I wouldn't put it past him because he was kind of aura farming this whole movie. But Dracula says that he only wants to see Mavis happy, and she says she doesn't know how she's supposed to do that. And this nigga regenerates before he could even get the sentence out. Not to mention his clothes regenerate too. Then Dracula says, I have a birthday present for you. He turns his backpack around and Johnny is there. She asks why you're here and he says, because you're my Zing. And then she says, I thought you hated monsters. And Johnny says, I only said that because your dad said he was gonna suck all the blood out of me. And Dracula admits that he was actually gonna do that. This man is about that action. But Johnny and Mavis have a moment and they're about to kiss, and then Dracula crashes out. But then he leaves the room, and while they kiss, we get this transition into the night. And now they're actually celebrating Mavis's birthday. We cut to Quasimodo still frozen and getting tortured by the werewolf's kids. And you know, I don't know, I think it's kind of interesting because is he like really the antagonist here? Like, he outed Johnny, but like I kind of feel like he did what he was supposed to do in a way. I mean, I don't know, like unless they like unfroze him and he was still trying to kill Johnny, like it makes sense to keep him frozen. But I feel like
I feel like a lot of animated movies, they low-key be having like brutal endings to some of the villains. Let me finish this video before I get to what I'm going to talk about.
Who's necessarily the antagonist of this movie? I guess it's more so Dracula or more so his mindset. I don't know. Anywho, they get the party. Johnny asks Dracula to sing and he grabs the mic and this boy gets to rapping. Bro thinks he's Drizzy Drake. You get a Drizzy Drake like Drizzy Drake, but it's like Dracula. It's basically just showing that everyone's having fun and that Drac finally loosened up. And that is the end. W fucking movie. One day
W, bro.
Anywho, why have I've never retake an anywho? That you know who I am? I'm the anywho king. Ninja. This is my shit.
Love to see. Hey, W video, bro. W video. You love to see it. Shout out to my man, your boy Eustace. High key. Let me show y'all what I was gonna talk about, and then I'm gonna wrap this up. I think it was Shrek 3's ending. No, 4. Like, bro, some of these endings are like brutal, bro. Like, yeah, Rumpelstiltskin, like his homeboy literally gets murked and they start laughing. It's like the bird nigga. Bro, where's it at? Oh man, where is it? Shrek, Rumpelstiltskin goose just dies. Look at this, bro. And they got a win. No. Bro, them niggas was evil. Them niggas, they really blew up the goose till he exploded. They was dead laughing. Like, these niggas are cynical. Like, nah, they're like legitimate villains, bro. That's not like, bro, that's not no good thing, bro. That's not a good thing, my nigga. Like, bro, what is wrong with these niggas? They evil for that, bro. Rumpelstiltskin ain't do nothing in the movie that evil, bro.